All right, everybody, this is Steve Swartz, and the topic for today is basically building self-confidence in MLM. I know it's kind of a different topic, but it's the key to you having success. And since 2003, I've basically been full-time in network marketing. I've now recently, been able to pay for a nicer car, all kinds of things, and I've experienced that, over and over the last, I guess, 10 years being full-time in the industry. And so I've experienced a lot of things. What has it done? What has the success and all that has done? It's allowed me to spend time with my family, take my parents on trips. We actually moved to the beach. We lived in Florida on the beach. Being able to take my kids to the water slide, on a Tuesday afternoon when everyone else is working, or maybe a Tuesday morning. I think that was like a Tuesday morning in Tampa. And being able to do that, live in different places if we wanted to. That is actually our backyard with the little umbrella picture. That was our backyard in Florida. And, and that's us this past summer traveling to in Los Angeles. So my kids have had their parents home full time, ever since, 2003. And that's when they were just little. I mean, we didn't have the other two, so we only had one at that point. So that's what this can do, but you got to work hard. You got to work hard at it. And it's not like I was always some natural or something like that. I mean, it was not even the case. I started off, I was in the military. I was a captain in the Army, lieutenant, and then a captain. And I wanted to put this picture on the bottom, since the North Koreans are acting all tough right now. I just wanted to a little picture of me where with the North Koreans standing behind me back in like 95, I believe that was. Not a great picture. So when you're doing your before and after pictures now, take a lot. If you're not where you want to be right now, take good pictures of it. Because, well, obviously they didn't have digital cameras back then either that I knew of. And so, but my point is I didn't just walk in and go, oh, I know everything. No way, not even close. Because at the time, right after I got out of the Army, I was driving a car like this, okay, a Geo Metro. They don't even make it anymore. And I was going to work to my job every day at Dell. That's actually the building I worked at. When I got out of the military, I coached football, and then I ended up working at Dell, right? And you can imagine, I mean, I had hourly employees. I was a manager, and I had upper management and all those types of people. Michael Dell would come through, all of that stuff. And, I worked there, and a lot of people would say that was a great job and all that, but I was like, well, why don't you go do it? I didn't really like it that much. And so I had started network marketing right when I started this. And so I had started my network marketing business pretty much exactly the same week I signed up at Dell, right? And so when you're listening to me, don't think that, oh, you full-time, you got the gravy train or whatever you're thinking. I don't know, because I worked a lot of hours here, and I had to listen to the ridicules of friends and family and coworkers, and people making fun of what you're doing and all of that stuff. And so what I know what it's like when you're trying to get out there and work the business, and you're trying to talk to people about products, or you're listening to people and you're trying to learn, and you're hearing what the people on the stages, if you go to the conventions, are saying, and you go back and try it and you get shot down or whatever happens, but you're out there working it. And so excuse me, I know what it's like to go through that stuff and still hold the belief, and then be around these types of people that are doing this kind of thing on a daily basis, and how to tune that out and focus on what you really want. So what did I do? Well, what I did is I learned whatever I had to learn to get better. That's basically what I did, and I started attending trainings, okay, and I pushed past the one-liners. I hear these snappy comebacks, someone would say, something like it's a pyramid, and the person would say, well, what, are you looking for one? I mean, I didn't see how that helped my prospect. It didn't work. And so, I would hear these types of things, and, and I tried them, and then it didn't work. And so then I found training that finally worked, and that was, through my own experiences, and then, meeting up with Tim Sales and listening to his training, like the professional inviter, and I became friends with Tim, and, we ended up figuring all this stuff out and helping the company get started with RX. I didn't even know that was going to happen, but, Tim had the most professional training, and so I'm going to take a lot of information from the stuff I learned from Tim and use it. And so what I'm telling you is this isn't all my own work. I'm giving credit to where I learned this information, and that's from Tim Sales. And so whenever you learn something from somebody, hey, acknowledge that you actually did it. You know, if I was just to take all this and go, oh, yeah, I came up with all this, that would be pretty phony, wouldn't it? I mean, pretty lame. People do it all the time, though, and they think it's okay, right? Or they'll just change the words a little bit, and they'll say, oh, that's my idea. Well, great, but I don't you know, when you get found out on that stuff, it's not good. People will figure out who you are, all right? So, but I found training that works. And so when we're looking at building self-confidence in MLM, you know, the question that comes up is, how do I gain more confidence and belief in myself to really begin seeing the results I desire? Not to mention start doing much more activity, right? And so the problem, part one, is the desire to have self-confidence when talking with prospects. That's what we want. We want to be able to be confident that we can talk to somebody and, you know, they're not going to shoot us down and we're not going to sound stupid and all of those things. You guys feel me? Raise your hands. You guys feel this? You ever had this experience? You guys out there, you guys awake today? Come on. Hands are raised. You guys know how to raise your hands in this room? All right. Yes, yes, yep. They're like, heck yeah. All right. All right. Good. All right. Well, I just want to check if you're awake. All right. And problem part two is confidence comes from seeing yourself as effective, right? If we think we're going to stink it up when we're talking to someone, are we going to start talking to them? Of course not, right? Of course we're not. And that very situation can cause a person to be working against themselves. In one moment, you want to be really good at it, and in another moment, you see that you're not effective, which causes you to want to stop until you get good at it. And then that's where it all implodes, if you ask me. Having these thoughts will stop you from doing anything. Oh, I got busy. You'll hear the excuses from people. They'll say things like, oh, you know, I tried it, but it's just not for me, right? I mean, you guys ever heard this kind of stuff? Ever? You ever thought this kind of stuff? Or have you heard of somebody that you look in the mirror and says this kind of stuff? Well, I'm speaking for myself. Of course I have. And so it kind of makes you question, you know, what am I going to do, right? You know, having these thoughts will stop you from doing anything. So when you see someone that's not in activity and network marketing, it's because they're stuck somewhere here. It's no, oh, you know, I'm busy now, right? It's not that, all right? I'm telling you, you're not busy. You're too busy. Give me a break. You know, there's just no way. You're not too busy. No. You're not confident in what's coming out of your mouth, and you want to be, okay? So I understand that completely, and I want you guys to really understand that this is where it stems from. So, and I want you to really think about this. So if you've never done anything, hey, you know what? Good. If you've had some successes and not some and you're not where you want, okay, if success in MLM was a requirement before starting MLM, no one would be able to start. Do you get it? Right? Like, if becoming a lieutenant in the Army required success as a lieutenant, you would never become a lieutenant because you would never get commissioned. Like, you'd have to be, how would you start? It's the same with everything. So don't think that you're just going to walk in here and be great at it. I don't care your experiences. Hey, you may have some leg up on people because you've been in communication training and those types of things. But if success in MLM was a requirement before starting MLM, no one would be able to start. Hope you get that. So ways to solve this, all right? Put all your focus on getting good through high activity, right? Talking to one person a week. If you guys talk, just be honest. Just be honest. Put it in the little message boards. How many people did you speak to this past week, as the week just ended last night? How many people did you speak to last week about your business or your products? Can you guys type it in there? 1. Okay, good. That's honest. 4. Nice, Tom. 6, 2, 1, 10, 0. All right. There you go. Not enough. Not enough is a 0. Yes. 1, 8, 3, 5. Okay, good. All right. So that's good. 2. All right. Remember the law of averages, right? You know, you're going to talk to one person, and you're going to try to, like, hit it out of the park with that one person, and one person is better than 0. Okay. 0 times 0 is still 0, right? So 1 is better than none. But if you want to get into like the full-time income on a part-time basis, double digits a day will keep the checks on the way, all right? So if you can do that, I mean, that's a workup, right? So let's start getting like a couple a day. And then, you know, but if you did 2 a day, that's 10 during the week. If you did more, that's where you see the people going crazy, and you're like, how do they sponsor all these people? What are they doing? And all that stuff. All right, but 12. Boom. All right. Well, yeah, you guys are superstars. Alan, good job. 1. Hey, 1 is better than none. 7, 3, 2, 10. All right. Double digits a day. Keep the checks on the way. All right. Let me erase all these. Otherwise, I get all of these questions. So, good. I appreciate your guys' feedback. And 10. All right. Well, and the people that get 10, they've been sponsoring people. And I know it because I know who they are. And sometimes, again, when you get good and you have, let's say you run into someone who's super busy, right? They're like a super busy person, but they are like, multimillionaire and something else or whatever, and you think, well, gosh, would they do this? They will. They will do this. And maybe their one meeting, though, is a sign-up because of their influence and just their experience. And so you can't judge it off, well, that guy talked to one person and he enrolled somebody this week. Well, yeah, but he's like totally different situation than you. And in that one person, he was highly effective and he got the job done with that one person. So don't think, well, I heard of this one guy, he only talks to one person a week. Well, yeah, he's like, the owner of the city. I mean, he's a little different. People listen to him, then maybe they would listen to me coming out of the Army or something like that, okay? So don't get messed up when you hear someone on stage talking about, well, I just talked to one person a week and I was effective at it. Well, gosh, they were a Hollywood producer and everyone wanted to listen to them or something like that, right? There's always that other situation. So don't get caught up. So here's how you solve this self-confidence thing. I hope you're writing this down because there will be a recording, but you want this stuff right now, okay? And here's how you get it, all right? You put all your focus on getting good through high activity. You drill inviting, you know it, you put it into action, you fix it, you drill it, you put it into action. In other words, you start talking to someone and you practice it, right? You practice how to answer these questions. You practice them again, all right? And you keep practicing, okay? But you don't stay in practice for 2 weeks, okay? You practice as much as you can, okay? You practice this line, and we'll show you. I'll give you some examples of how to do this. And that's why live training is so important this next weekend because we're doing this kind of stuff. We're not going to be parading around like peacocks on stage. You're going to be, telling you how great we are. We're going to be doing knees-to-knee drill training, and so that what comes out of your mouth is confident. Okay, first it's going to be horrible, and then what comes out of it later, as you get better at it, it's going to be fluid. It's going to be smooth. It's going to be delivered with all the communication qualities intact. Okay, but so what you have to do is practice this stuff. Right? Practice how to answer these questions. Someone says it's pyramid. How do you answer that? You don't just go, that's wrong. Right now you're already like hesitating. Okay, so you drill inviting, know it, put it into action, fix it, drill it, put it into action. There's no other way. I mean, like, you can't learn it by having someone sit there and tell you. Like, me just telling this to you, you're going to have to take this information and go practice it, right? And then we'll be in practice mode because they don't have, football teams and basketball teams and all the teams out there don't stay in practice. They actually play games, right? They practice so that they have a game to go. People rehearse plays to actually do the play, right? So we're not just practicing to practice to practice. There's a professional practice football team that they practice so that they do well in the game, okay? And so that's what we're wanting to do. So study the RX box system. No one has this, and we definitely don't have it for $30, okay? No one has this. Repeat until you see results. They will come. So you get good through high activity, but how you get into high activity is you get confidence by drilling it, practicing it, knowing it, and then you repeat until you see results. They will come. With results come confidence. Nothing else will create your desired confidence, not walking on fire, not listening to another motivational CD, all right, not learning the comp plan, nothing, all right. You know how many times I explain the comp plan? Hardly ever, okay? Hardly ever. I mean, I do to some network marketing people, but I try to keep it a minimum because I don't need to explain it to people because I'm listening to what they need, want, or don't want. I'm showing them how people are getting that, and I basically have them watch stuff and answer their questions. Boom. All right? So it's natural to get objections and questions because that's what people do. I mean, it's going to happen, all right? So building self-confidence in MLM, one thing is for sure, until you get it, you will hold back high activity. So you have to get yourself to be bad for a while you get good, right? And so you got to be willing to say, I didn't do so good and not quit. That's where people are, I talked to one person, and they didn't like it. They told me I did this, and then you stop, right? Gosh, you must have some paper-thin goals, and we need to get some better goals, all right? Because you just have to be bad enough. You have to be, gosh, you know, people used to hang up on me, and I'd be talking, and they wouldn't even be there. I was like, hello? And so, I understand, but I had to go through all those things and to get good, all right? So if you just ease into it and gradually try to get good, it's very difficult. And that's why the onesie-twosies, talking to someone a week, it's like you're pulling a tooth for 7 years or something. I mean, what are you doing? All right, so if you just ease into it and gradually try to get good at it, it's very difficult. And this is where a lot of people give up or don't put in an effort that will get them time and financial freedom. All right? I hope you guys are understanding this. Good. I know you are. All right, so, and we have the #1 trainer in MLM in our back office. I mean, give me a break. Like, you guys, I think a lot of us have gotten used to, oh, we have Tim Sales, and oh, okay, great, you know, whatever. But I ask you guys, all of this stuff over here on the left, I ask you, what's the inviting formula? And they're like, blah, 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 blah. They don't know it. All right, they don't know it. All right, they don't know it. Okay, and so you've got, so don't have an excuse. You can go spend a lot of money on different CDs and listen to trainings and do this, that, and the other thing, but you have this stuff right in your back office, and it's right here. Okay, and so let's keep moving forward because we got some other drills to go through. We got some stuff to cover and some more mentality. Boom. Thanks, Mike. Boom. All right. We like to have a little fun around here too. Everyone's like so. Someone got mad at my email yesterday. I was like, well, you know what? We want you here live because when we do live training, you will see it and you just won't get it like sitting at your house. All right. So the 4 parts to MLM that you must know. So keep it simple. There's 4 parts. There's not, oh, well, you got to learn, you know, the first part of the blah, blah, blah. No, there's 4 parts. You find prospects, right? And there's ways to do that. There's online, offline. There's so many ways. It's unreal now. Invite, present, and train, okay? So these are all the things that you have to encompass. This is it. Write these down so you actually know it. This is all you need to know. Now, there's plenty of information in here, right? But what I find is all the gurus online right now, all they talk about is this first part, how to find prospects. And then you find out that I generated all these leads. And I was like, well, who signed up? Nobody? Great. Who cares how many leads you generated? You didn't talk to anybody, right? All right? So this is it. You've got to do all 4 to get the real income. And most online guru guys, and I always use the internet to build a business and also offline methods, but there's not one person that's ever built a business online completely, okay? It just doesn't happen. And the gurus, they don't even do network marketing. Most all of them, they don't. So don't even go there with me. All right, okay. Boom. All right, Jeff and Rona, I'm learning so much already today. Well, good. You know, this stuff's important, and you can get sidetracked with all this other garbage. So these are the parts you must learn. And find prospects, invite, present, and train. So inviting is where you have to really get good at, okay? Boom. All right. Linda's like, all right, I don't know, is that 5 stars? Okay, good. How to invite. Okay. Now, just remember, we do this stuff all the day long. You know, if I call Jeff and say, hey, you don't want to go over to the swimming pool or you want to go out to the, you know, want to go skiing or something like that, I would be asking you, you know, find out, hey, no, I don't even ski. Oops, objection. Oh, okay, whoops, question, right? So I called you up and I was, you know, asking you to come to dinner with me, come to a movie with me, come to a meeting with me, watch a video that can help you get 20 pounds off your body, all right? All invitations follow a natural flow from one section to the next. But you must do the greeting and qualify, because if you don't, you get your prospect to talk freely with you. Qualifying, you find out what your prospect wants, needs, wants, or don't want, right? Needs, wants, or doesn't want. And inviting, you ask your prospect to redo something. So if I was going to say, hey, Linda. Hey, Linda, how's it going? We'd say Linda and I know each other. I'll say, hey, Linda's like, hey, Steve, what's up? You know, she's talking. How you know she's openly talking with me? She's kind of laughing with me, and that's when someone's openly, freely talking with you. It's not about building rapport, because you don't even know when that stops, right? You're always building the rapport with somebody, but when if you know someone, the greeting's already pretty much accomplished right away. Like if I called up one of my buddies from high school, he'd be like, hey, man, what are you doing? You know, so we'd be already right in there. If I don't know you, then you're like, who is this? You know, so it's like it's a totally different situation, okay? And so you just have to spend more time in the greeting, because if I call, you know, Miami, and I don't know one thing about Miami, and then Miami's a person, not a city, okay? It's actually both, but today it's a person, all right? So if I talk to Miami and I don't even know Miami, like I look at her name and I've never met her, I mean, maybe I have, whatever, I don't know her, and I call her up because she answered an ad or something like that, man, I'm going to have to learn about Miami. And that's where I'm going to spend all my time in here, in the greeting, and then learn about, well, Miami, what made you answer the ad? And then, oh, get in there, find out what she really wants, get below the surface, get all that. That's where I spend my time. Don't do the run around and hand out cards to people and hope they accept it. That's where you've skipped the greeting call. If you walked up to me and said, hey, look at this, I'm like, what is it? It says, how to own an M5 BMW. I'm like, I already have one. Oh, okay. So you didn't qualify me. Or if it said, how to win your own car. I already did. Huh? And then what would you be like, huh? Right? So, if someone called me up and said, hey, someone actually called me a couple of days ago and they asked me, they called me off, so I don't know, I guess my name's on the list somewhere. I guess I'm being sold out there. I don't know what's happening with that, but I am. And somebody called me and they said, hey, how would you like to, they just started right off. How would you like to learn how to make $10,000? I said, and how fast? Oh, like a month? No thanks. What? And they're like, hey, this basically, actually they didn't even qualify me. They went right into inviting me. Hey, would you like to look at a business? Would you be open to a business if I showed it to you? No. I don't know. Why? What business? And so I was like, how do they even know I'm looking for a business? Right? It's like unbelievable stuff, right? They're just going right to the invite. So if you don't know someone, you got to spend more time in the greeting and qualifying. And then you have to get better at the inviting. Don't worry, we're getting to this part of the objection. We're getting to the part where you came here for, all right? So what do you invite for? Product, company, make the industry, or any more income. It's usually the product or the company, right? So if someone has a need or want for, like, I've got to get back. Someone's like, I got to get back in the gym. You got to be like that, all right? Yeah, I know. I mean, it's hilarious. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Don't get crazy here. You wouldn't be interested in earning a second income, would you? Yeah. Listen, don't focus on what I'm speaking about, all right? What I'm telling you guys, some people like to come up with, wasn't that the line you used? No, not the line you used. Remember, here, you got to be in here, the greeting and the qualifying. Spend your time there if you don't know the person. Even if you do know the person and you think you don't know what's going on with them. They don't tell you about all the bills they can't pay. Find out what's going on with them. So how's it really going? That's what I say to people. So how's everything going? I mean, is the job going awesome? Yeah, that's good. Is there any, and that's the but. That's where you ding, ding, ding. Okay, qualify time, and you're listening, and you don't say, well, you should do this. You listen and you learn more about it. Okay, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. Okay, and then you close to action. You conclude, right? So you invite someone to look at something that can help them get what they wanted, right? And then you conclude, set future appointment. Always do that. Don't just say, I'll call you back next week. That's for lamos. Okay, that's for, I'm never going to sign anybody up with the lamos because you're going to be, call me back next week. They tell you that one. Say, you know what? I'm going to be really busy, in and out, moving around fast. And so if we could lock down the time, when can you look at this? Because I really want to get back with you. Boom. And don't take no for an answer. Just do it. And then you would follow up and follow through on the next step. But handle any questions or objections. Get prospects past whatever is stopping them. That's your job. It's natural. If you went to buy a car, you wouldn't just walk in and go, the guy goes, I don't even know how this would even happen because you'd have to have some questions. You would just walk in and go, sit down at the desk and start filling out paperwork, and the guy's like, I just say, I want the car. And you're like, okay. And then you just start filling out the paperwork. You would say, well, gosh, what's the miles, per gallon? You start asking questions. Does it come in another color? Those aren't objections. Those are just questions. And you're going to have them. So don't think well, they have to be questions. That's because they're interested. And you would ask questions about stuff. If you're going to rent a house, if you're going to, go on vacation, if you're going to buy a plane ticket, you're going to ask questions. So don't think that it's weird that they're asking you questions. Natural. So how do you handle questions and objections? Well, the word handle is to deal with effectively, right? So you start thinking like that. Okay, well, handle is, not some tricky arm twister. It's like, how do you deal with this effectively? Okay, objection, expressed or unexpressed opposition. So they may say they're busy, but they're really thinking this is a pyramid, and they didn't express that, and you bought into that I'm busy garbage. Okay? All right, so prospects have goals. So when you're talking to them in that qualify step, you're learning about what they need and want and what they really want. But they also have doubts, okay? So Tim Sales came up with this, bug in the windshield, and so this is the the prospect, and they're reaching for their goal. That's their goal up there, the big trophy. That's what they want, and that could be, out of traffic. It could be kids out of daycare. It could be whatever your goal is. Just think of it like that, okay? And watch how everyone gets derailed out of network marketing in like 30 seconds, okay? All right, and so that don't be one of those people. But they still have the doubts. The anvil's down there. It's holding them back, right? They want this, but then their parents are saying, quit chasing rainbows or whatever, right? And so you're just like, what? And so you're like, man, maybe I should think about that. Maybe I should, I don't know, but I want my goal. But I got that thing bothering the heck out of me about my parents or telling me this or whatever that might be. Not my parents, but maybe your parents or our parents. I don't know, but you got the picture. And so as you're looking forward to that goal, it's kind of like you're looking through the windshield of your car. But all of these things start hitting your car like bugs, bam, and all of a sudden, like if you were driving down the road and, that big bug hits your windshield and splatters all over it, if you sit there and focus on that bug, what happens? You're going to drive off the road, right? And so you get these hits your windshield as a network marketer. I'm too busy. My wife doesn't want me to do it. Is it sales? I don't have any money. I can't do it. Is this like Amway? Is this one of those pyramids? I don't know anyone. It doesn't work. In handling these objections, you must include a training discussion, by the way, and we'll talk about that. But all of these can hit you, and if you currently are in the company, in the business, and you don't have these things cleared up in your own mind, then you're going to falter as well. You're going to slow down. You're going to stop, and you're going to be in that, that the whole mode I was talking about at the front of the presentation, right, where you're really not doing much, but you're kind of in, and you kind of believe, but you're not sure because you got that anvil holding you back, right? And so let's move forward on this thing, and let's get moving. So there's a remedy for this, okay? There's a remedy for questions and objections, right? And so this is what, think of someone at a cocktail party cutting someone off as they start to talk. Like, have you ever talked to someone and then they talk over you, and then you're talking over, and then they talk over you, and then they, right? You ever had that? So frustrating, isn't it? You're talking to someone and then they talk right over you. You're like, you're trying to finish the conversation and then they talk right over you. I know you guys don't do that ever, but you know what I'm talking about. All right, so listen completely through the question or objection. Let them sing, as Tim would say. Don't interrupt them. So what I was just giving you an example of is how people interrupt you, or you interrupt your prospect because you think you already know what they're going to say. And even if you've heard it 100 times and you know exactly how to answer it, you better not cut their last words off with your mouth opening and firing off the next answer. Guilty, Jeff and Rona. Hello. Boom. Yes. Well, this is how you become very, very effective in communication, which makes you always better at network marketing, and it's going to make you better at everything. Okay, so you listen completely through the objection. Someone says, I'm just so sick of all these things online, I don't even know what to do about it. Yeah, wow, okay, boom. Sorry, guilty. This is how you become that non-spastic MLM loser that everyone doesn't want to talk to. I'm just telling you, sometimes I just don't know how to sugarcoat stuff. Sorry. But this is how you get rid of these spaz attacks that are out there in MLM that you just like, or anything. Yeah. I had this lady go through my training, and she jumped in the elevator 5 minutes later, and she like accosted the guy, that poor guy that was just going down, to get a cup of coffee or something in the hotel. She didn't listen to one thing I said, and she's just like all over this guy. I was like so embarrassed to even be in network marketing. I think if the guy asked me, I was like, I'm in, I'm a fireman. So I didn't even want to be in network marketing after listening to her accost this guy, and the guy's like, well, and so she's just all over him, right? He had a question. She couldn't even get a word out because she was just finishing his sentences. Don't be that person. That's what I'm trying to say. So when you're saying guilty, good. I'm glad you're admitting it because. All right, good. Well, that's why you love me. All right. Well, some people don't, but that's okay. They'll get over it. Some people don't love me, but they don't understand me. All right. So listen completely through the question objection. Let them sing, and don't interrupt them. So almost like a pause. So someone tells you something, and then it's like a pause. They'll say, I'm just too busy. I almost make it uncomfortable. Anything else? No. Okay. Boom. So then you confirm understanding and ask questions when necessary. All right? Listen completely through the question, objection, let them sing, don't interrupt, confirm understanding. So then I would say, okay, so from what I can tell, hold on one second. From what I can see here is you're saying that you're too busy. Is that right? So you confirm understanding. Don't agree. Don't be the feel, felt, found. I feel, felt, found. I feel, felt, found. I feel, felt, found. You guys ever heard that one? I feel, felt, found. I know how you feel. I felt it some way, and this is how I found. If that's your little rigmarole, it's kind of easy to fall into it, but it's also pretty lame, okay? It does work sometimes, but it doesn't work all the time, all right? Don't vomit on them, all right, okay? Silence makes me uncomfortable, Steve. Nancy's like, this is excellent, Steve. Silence makes me uncomfortable. This is great training. Awesome. Well, I hope you use it, right? So someone says an objection. You say, yeah. And see, what it does, it calms you down, too. I mean, I'm like taking this to another little level, just to like, because then, you know, you could be in total panic mode in your body. You're like, oh, my gosh, they're asking me the question I hate, right? Which I'll help you figure that one out later, which is you're probably causing it if you're thinking of the question that you don't want to hear. They're going to ask that. I don't know, they can read your mind or something, right? It's like fear, like with an animal, and they can sense it, right? And so people can sense, and they start asking you those questions. Shut my mouth is great. Okay. Well, you said it, Nancy, not me. All right. Okay. Don't vomit on them. Exactly. So you confirm understanding. All right. So you confirm that you understand. Now, you about Steve, would you hurry up and get through this? See, you're already ruining it for yourself if you're thinking like this. And if you've already heard all this before, then really, then why are you only talking to one person? All right. Then why are you not signing up more people as customers and more people in the business? I practice this stuff because sometimes you get on the phone with people that are huge and you never know, and you got to have your stuff together on every call, right? So, and you're always learning and making mistakes and going, you know what? Dang it, I did not confirm understanding when I was talking to that person, and then I just blew it, all right? So even all of us can make these mistakes unless we practice, right? So make the question or objection valid with the same or slight less intensity, but don't agree with the objection. That's why you don't say, I feel, felt, found crap. Sorry, don't do it. All right? Make the question or objection valid with the same or slightly less intensity. I don't want to be involved in products. Okay, so I understand that, dealing with products, you don't want to deal with products. I can see how that could be a concern for you. You know, whatever, right? But I wouldn't go, oh, man, I understand. You know, products are terrible, right? I wouldn't agree. Yeah, I know, man. I don't like products either. Or I didn't like products either. You know what? And there's a lot of people that don't like them either, or whatever. Like, you're being an idiot if you start saying stuff like that. You just confirm understanding. You ask the question when necessary. So let me understand this. So your concern is that, you wouldn't want to be dealing with products. Yeah. Okay. But don't agree. Don't say, well, yeah, there's issues. I mean, there's not issues. Gosh, it's ridiculous, all right? So handle or facilitate handling. If you say it, it can be challenged. Like if I started to say, well, the product, businesses are way better than, blah, 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 or the biggest companies and blah, 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 or that. And I would just say, all right, so I would facilitate the handling of the question. I could say something like, well, what companies, where did you learn that, product companies are bad? Like, where did you learn that? And then they start saying something and like, well, you have to have inventories. And I said, oh, okay, so do you feel like we have inventories? Yeah, don't you? No, I have never had one. But, I mean, I understand that's been something that people have done in the past, but we don't have inventories. I barely have enough products at my house for myself. And they're like, wow, yeah. Oh, really? I didn't understand that. So then they start handling the question themselves, not me beating them over the head with why they're dumb for not liking that or whatever, or not seeing my way. So if you facilitate the handling, all right, if you say it, if I were just to say, you know what I'm talking about, blah, 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 then they're going to be like, they're not going to be open to it. But if they solve it, like if they say, I don't have enough people to talk to, I just don't want to talk to my friends and family, or something like that. And I say, all right. And by the way, as soon as people say this to me, they usually end up talking to their friends and family anyways. I'm not telling you these straight up answers. Like, this is not the part where I'm handling these questions, objections. I'm just giving you examples of how to facilitate, right? To facilitate, I would say, well, all right, so your concern, I understand your concern is that you are only going to have to talk to your friends and family, right? Yeah. Okay. I can see how that could be an issue. That's, if you thought that's how you have, so you see how I'm making it valid? This is how I make it valid on step 3. I could see how if you felt like you didn't want to talk to your friends and family, but you felt that that's the only way that you could build a business, or that's the only way people did, then I could see how that could be a concern, right? Yeah, okay. Well, all right, so what are other ways to find people? See how I'm facilitating it? What are some other ways to find people? Facilitating it right there. And then I'd be quiet, and they say, well, there's a lot of people on Facebook. I guess they could run an ad. I could prompt them a little bit and say, well, how would another business find people? Well, they would do advertising. Yeah, and you can do the same thing. Oh, okay. Yeah, so see, there's really not an issue there. Boom, and then we're on to the next thing. Or we go back to wherever we were in the conversation. And nowhere did I strong-arm them and start telling them all this stuff or panic at the disco, right? Just kidding, but that was kind of funny. But I don't panic because I'm facilitating the handling. They're answering their own question. I'm just giving them some examples. All right? How else could you find people? You ever thought about that one, did you? All right, so this is the remedy, okay? And you complete the handling, return to the previous step you were in the objection when the objection came up. So like if you're back. So, all right, so when can you look at the video? Boom, we're in the invite. All right, closed action, great. Watch it tonight. I'll call you back tomorrow morning. What time? 10? 10 a.m. will work? Okay, so you're not going to be in church tomorrow at 10? Nope, I'll be out. Okay, good. I'll call you tomorrow at 10. Boom, closed action is complete. There you go. Now go rinse and repeat. Don't just pat yourself on the back and say, I talked to somebody. Well, good, if that was your first one, but go get some more because, people have a tendency to not to show up or something like that. All right? So it feels like, thanks for getting me to look at the bugs on my windshield. That's exactly what I needed. No, really? Awesome. Well, that's good. Okay, good. Maybe. All right, so here we go. So are you guys liking this? All right, so we're going to start getting into some of the objections. I know it's like, what's it, 2 hours already? All right, we're going to feel oh, my God. Feel, felt, found. And I'm not here, Margaret, to discredit anyone who ever told you that was a good deal. Because I learned that from Brian Tracy, who's a heck of a sales trainer, but he's never been ultimately successful in network marketing. So we're not selling, a set of tools or something or whatever, dish, I don't know, right? It's like, it probably would work sometimes, but I don't feel it works all the time. Like if you said, Steve, I know what it feels like to be an Army captain. No, you don't. You never did it, right? So you're already fooling yourself. Oh, I said, I know what it feels like to be pregnant. Right? I don't know, okay? So, all right. Boom, this is good. All right, people are loving it. Jeanette, bam. Confidence talks. Rainix on our Rainix is on our windshield. Maybe we're clearing those bugs off. Well, don't worry, Carrie. Carrie, focus. Hey, right now, everybody, boom, I'm going to get out here. We're coming to that one. I don't have the time. Don't worry about your little objection that you're worried about. What is this remedy? Can anybody name it? Anybody name it? Come on. Anybody? This is a test. You thought this was just you sitting there in your little comfortable chair. I can't even drink my cup of coffee. All right? Training. All right, so what is the question, objection, remedy? What's the first thing you do? The steps. Yeah, the steps. Anybody want to name it? Objection. Listen completely. Yep, Tom's got one. Boom, right? So we're going to listen completely through the question. Good. What's the next thing we're going to do? Repeat it. They're like, repeat it. I wasn't paying attention. And Tom, what is it? Well, Tom's like the superhero right now. All right. What's the second thing we're going to do? Come on, everybody. We have a question, objection. What's going to happen next? All right. Confirm understanding. Good, good, good. All right. Good. Linda. Boom. Everyone's getting this. You guys are A students over here. All right. So, boom, we got that. And then what are we going to do? Let me erase some of these things. It's like a million messages. Everyone's getting confirmed. Confirm understanding, right? What's the next thing we're going to do? I take great notes. Mirror. Mirror, what do you like? This is Tony Robbins. Mirror matching. Make it valid, all right? Besides, you don't want to ever mirror your prospect, because then all you're doing is thinking about how they're moving their arms, and then you're moving your arms, and they're telling you about their family, and you're thinking about moving your arms. It's called being distracted by your environment. Being distracted by your own brain is what that's called. Make question valid. Let's see. I don't even remember. Gosh. Okay, I do. Make the question or objection valid with the same or slightly less intensity. The same. So if they're talking like, man, that's one of those big pyramid deals, and you're saying, all right, so I understand that you think it's a big pyramid deal. So I'm at there, but slightly less, not as intense. Like as intense or slightly less. Little trick there. All right. What's the next one? Okay, I got to catch up. This little screen, they need to make these things bigger. Who made this? Microsoft? What is this? All right. Handle or facilitate handling. Kaboom. Tom, Cookie, Leslie, Lorraine, Deborah. Handle it. Look at Alan's like, handle it, baby. All right. So, handle or facilitate. Anna, Kathy, Leslie. Kaboom. What do I say when I hear this kind of response? Oh, yeah. Well, we'll cover those in a minute. All right? Here we go. We've got to move forward because we'll be here for 6 hours if we don't. But that's probably the training we need, right? Probably need that. Okay. All right, so boom, we got it. Handle and complete handling the return to the previous step, right? That's the remedy. Remember, facilitate it. Don't be the problem. Don't be you telling them how it all is. Sometimes you have to jump in there and say, you know what? That's we haven't found that over here. I mean, whatever. I mean, okay. All right. Anybody ever know someone says, help, I've burned my warm market, or I don't know anyone. Right. And don't worry, the one who's saying I've had too many bad experiences in network marketing, it's all lack of training, and we're fixing that right now. None of you guys have this kind of training, guarantee it. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back because I went through it, and I listened to all this stuff, and I was like, wow. All right, let me catch up. And then the person who had that long question they just answered, okay, or come back with that question. Paste that thing later because I'm going to miss it. Somebody else had one. All right. So, oh no, I seem to have burned through my warm market, and I'm not good at just walking up to random strangers, and I don't have the money to buy cold prospects. How can I add representatives to my organization? You guys ever thought like this? Never said this. All right. Yep. Okay. Good. Well, stop saying it. Okay. Because the short answer is this. If a person is not confident in their ability to prospect, in other words, the ability to talk to another person, right, they will find ways to stop themselves from prospecting, which means I'm going to make an excuse about how I don't have any leads and I don't know how to get any leads. Do you think I would make that excuse? I don't want to call. I don't want to do it, I would even call purchase leads, which people make fun of. I could even buy those and do well and practice and get better at it. It's not as fun because, it's like a hit and miss with a lot of those, but anything that you're getting someone to answer an ad or something like that is always going to be like that, okay? And so the short answer is that if the person has 700 negative experiences in network marketing, do you think I would be scared to talk to them? Do you think I would be scared to talk to them? No, of course not. Of course I would not, okay? I would not. All right. Sorry, hold on a second. All right. So, oh, so funny. The first thing you have to do is admit. All right. So, help I burn my warm market. I don't know anyone. Okay. All right. Lack of confidence is your problem. All right. And what's going to come out of your mouth? Do you think, if someone thought MLM was a pyramid, I would be scared to talk to them? No, of course not, okay? When someone says I seem to have burned through my warm market, this is perhaps where the lack of confidence in ability exposed itself, really. Because when you say this, that I burned my warm market, what you're telling me is that you're showing me your lack of confidence in speaking with people. I've had people that have been in multiple network marketing companies over the last year and a half tell me stuff like this. I'm like, wow. I would never say that. I would never say that, right? Even if I had burned them. I mean, I would never say that. It's just showing that you don't know how to talk to someone, okay? But people don't realize this is what they're doing. And this is perhaps where the lack of confidence and ability, expose itself. If a person sees that what they didn't yield any results, like you were trying and didn't, like I called and I tried and didn't get any results, or even worse, might have caused some damage or strain on those warm market relationships, like people don't want to hear you, they want to see you because you were just all about you and you weren't talking to them about them, you're always pitching your deal, then you felt like you damaged those relationships. That's going to cause you to stop as well, okay? So what you do is you just get better at it, and you can even then that person might decide that they're not good at walking up and talking to strangers. By the way, I don't walk up and just talk to strangers. I will I'll say hi to somebody I don't know and say, hey, how's it going? But I don't start going, hey, how's it going? I'm in business. You want to join it? I mean, how stupid would that be? I'm at Starbucks getting a cup of coffee, and I'm going to tell someone, hey, you look sharp. You want to join business with me? How dumb is that? I mean, if like they don't know the person. Like you're just setting yourself up for like failure. The only way that would work is if you went around every store you did, and eventually someone said, okay, what is it? And then and then maybe that person. But then if you try to go tell people to do that, you would be like, better off trying to get people to skydive. Okay, so that's horrible, right? But I don't walk up to strangers and start pitching my business. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know you. How do I know what you want? You're at the store trying to get your eggs, and I'm over there in the aisle saying, hey, you want a business? What is this? That's why people didn't like the big A company. Yeah, it's like, exactly. Everyone's getting this one now. It's not like you just walk up to a gal and go, hey, want to marry me? What? No. Maybe. I don't even know you. Yeah, it's easier if you have great products, but still, if you don't grade and qualify, you're going to get smoked. And then you're going to start saying, this isn't very good. All right. So here we go. Let's keep going. Okay. Or another variation is I just talked to someone who got a bunch of people in the past in a few other companies and doesn't feel like he can talk to them about a new business. And it might not be appropriate to talk to those people if they're happy in that other business. That's fine. But if you knew that you could always speak with somebody and you had people you could talk with, but you were confident in what you're saying, it's going to change, okay? So creating leads. A person confident in their ability to prospect wouldn't think twice about creating the money to buy leads, advertisements, online and offline. When a representative says, I don't have the money to advertise, they're saying, I don't have the confidence to create the money, okay? Creating money is limitless. Sell stuff, cancel memberships, eat out less. Master the ability to talk to prospects, because if you don't, you will always make excuses why the business doesn't work for you. And you'll be one of those people that are in and out of the business and doesn't stay focused. So always discuss ideas on how to get prospects, people you know, leads, social media. I've had people say, I don't want to talk to people I know. And I say, well, there's other ways that you could do. How about social media? And then the next thing out of their mouth is, I could actually talk to, like, my brother would listen. Oh, that's good. And so you don't go, I thought you just said you wouldn't talk to them. No, you just say, okay, you just like, this is funny how this works. And you're just saying that to yourself, all right? Ads in local publications, ads online. You could put stupid signs out on the side of the road that had a good message, and, you could get prospects, all right? Right? Direct mail, magazines, signs on the side of the road. I've done all of these things, and I'm not saying that these signs are the perfect message, but you could do, you could do a lot of stuff. Woman in a wheelchair loses 113 pounds. Call now. Create curiosity, and that's what you have to be doing on Facebook as well. You Facebook people that are out there just slamming all over Splendorize and RX, and I'm so happy to be in the opportunity. Oh, please, you need to come to our training, all right, because you need to create curiosity in your advertisements. And all your Facebook posts about once you've lost weight, those are advertisements, okay? Those are creating curiosity, not telling everyone about you, okay? So I've been building with the internet since 2001. Your lesson from me, no one builds a business 100% online. No organization that is a long-lasting business has ever been completely built with the internet. Not one ever. Sorry. However, 3 ways to build your business: your network, leads, and ads. I love advertising. It's a great way to break into new markets, and we teach this without having to join hokey, distracting affiliate programs. You people that are out there throwing your stuff around right now, you're going to all pay for it later. Use a combined approach to get the best results. Focus on this because the track record of a successful network marketing company creates, if you have products and services that actually change people's lives, you're going to have a strong residual income, and we're seeing that right now, okay? So you can use a combined approach to get the best results. I would use all three different ways to get people going, okay? But back to the objection. Is this MLM? Anyone ever heard this one? No? And what do you guys say? All right. If I said to you, is this MLM, what would you say? Every day. Okay. I want to tell you something. I never get this objection. All right? So if you get it every day, you're thinking about it, and you have an issue with MLM somewhere, okay? What do you mean by MLM? Not bad. 90% of the time in Utah. That's your own stuff. I live in Utah. I don't get that. So, right? My response, yes, it is. All right? Yeah, but use the correct amount of assertiveness. All right? Don't be freaky. Don't be a freak about it. Like, yes, it is MLM. Woohoo! And that's ridiculous. Okay, that's ridiculous. I know you didn't mean that, but I've seen it. I've seen it out there like that. I would say, yeah, it is MLM. What do you know about MLM? Something like that. What do you know about MLM? Boom. Okay? I love it. Yeah, have you ever been in an MLM company before? It is. I always say yes. Always answer the question. Don't just give them answer. Say yes. Say yes, it is. What do you know of MLM? Or have you been in MLM before? What do you know about it? What's your experience with MLM? But yes, it is. And then what's your experience? Okay, so let's go through this little remedy. Boom. And we got to get moving. All right. So what would you say? I just asked you guys that. How to handle the MLM objection. Okay. How do you know about MLM, or what's your experience? So the first thing you're going to do is ask a question, right? And then what do you guys do after that? You be quiet, right? I don't ever ask, do you like MLM? You're setting yourself, no, I don't. End of conversation. You just killed yourself. Jeff and Rhoda, do you like MLM? No, I hate it. It sucks. Oh, okay. Great. Where do you go with that? You're killing yourself with your own question, right? So don't do that. Do you like MLM? No. I mean, you're giving yourself, see, what you're doing is you're setting yourself up for a one-word answer, and that word is going to be a 50% chance. And if they ask you if it's MLM, they're probably not going to say, if they've done it before, they're not doing it now, they're probably not going to say, yes, I love it. I mean, you might run into those people, but I'm just saying, yeah, Nancy. Because see, when you understand MLM is awesome and it works and all of the things about it, and you watch Brilliant Compensation, you really get it, and you watch those different things like that, and you understand, you won't get this objection. Okay? Okay. Good. All right, so let's keep moving. So let me just go through this. Okay. All right. How do you know about MLM? Or, yeah, it is. What do you know about it? And so you find out their experience. They say, well, I tried it, and blah, blah, blah. And you are doing this one. They say no. Say, okay, well, so you say, all right, well, they probably, how did you hear about it? Well, my brother did it. So it's not their personal experience. So if you ask them what happened, it's not going to be relevant to them because they didn't do it. And then they would say, you want to give them facts about the industry, like, hey, you know what? I mean, there's hundreds of, there's millions of people that are in the industry, and you could say that it's, I don't know, $100 billion industry, and I've got some information that could clear it up for you and explain it to you, and give you the real situation about it, and then you could guide them to like Brilliant Compensation, okay, and show them that that's what I would do. All right, and say, well, what I want you to watch is this video about the industry, and then I'll show you how we fit into that. And how we work with people. So that's what I would do. I would send them in other words, if they said their brother did it or something like that, that wasn't their experience, okay? Someone else's. But if they had done it, like the 700 times or whatever someone had said, they've had too many failures or whatever it was, all of those failures have left clues. So what you have to do is basically say, well, what happened? I mean, and say, well, I joined it and everybody promised, but yeah, I mean, what did you feel like you were, you got good training or, no, I didn't know what I was doing. Oh, man, What else? What else? And so you're really listening to what they're saying. It's so important in this one, okay? And this is the same. A lot of this goes down. Is this network marketing? Is this MLM? If someone says it's one of those pyramids, I say, no, it's not a pyramid. But what do you mean by that? Do you mean like, are you referring to network marketing? I might say something like that. What do you mean by a pyramid? Well, like when people, you sign up people and you sign up another person. You're speaking about like network marketing or MLM? Yeah, that MLM. Oh, okay. So then I'm just moving there with them. Have you done that before? What's your experience? And they say, well, I did Amway a long time ago. Oh, really? What happened? Well, it was a long time ago. So, and they tell me this, that, and the other thing. But I'm listening for what's going on. This is the real important part of this, right? What happened to you? What happened? What happened? And do you feel that the industry works? And that's the next question. So once they tell me and I find out below the surface, they say, well, it just didn't work. Just didn't work is a surface answer. I don't know what just didn't work. What did they actually do? And I don't say things like, well, it sounds like you didn't get trained. Like I don't jump to those conclusions like like I'm schooling them or something. Like I'm an authority to them saying you didn't get trained properly. And in our business, we train properly. I don't do that. Okay? I don't say stuff like that. I would say something like, oh, now, do you feel like someone worked with you? And did someone work with you on how to talk to people? Well, no one wanted to buy the products. Oh, wow. And so did you feel like you got training on how to do that? Not really. I mean, they just kind of threw us in. Man, that's too bad, Like, I'm so sorry that happened, right? And what else, what else happened? And then I would say, well, do you think, not for you or anyone you know, which left them off the hook, not for you or anyone you know, but does the industry work? I mean, do you feel that the industry works? Well, I guess so. I mean, there's still companies out there and they're building, but I mean, and then I would ask them, they might say something that they feel why it would work, why it works for some and not others. And then I would ask them, what do you think it takes to succeed? And they would say something like, well, I'm not really sure. You gotta be good at talking to people, or something like that. And I get underneath those things, and I would just say, well, okay, so you have to be good at talking to people. I mean, how do you think someone learns that? I mean, do you feel that you're not good at talking to people, or how do you like if someone said that, I would just be like, well, how do you think someone becomes that way? Or you got to know a lot of people. And then I could say, well, when I got started, I knew some people. I didn't know a lot, but I knew this person who led me to this other person, and then they knew thousands, and they built a big team over even in Asia, and I didn't know anybody in Asia, right? And so can you see how that can happen? Yeah. Okay. And so through our training, we're going to show you how to do this. So what I wanted you to see first is how the industry works. Then I want you to see our company. So I'm guiding them to training. Because really, the reason someone is not successful previously in network marketing is because of the lack of effective training. Doesn't mean they didn't get shown the training, right? Doesn't mean there wasn't a training in their previous company. They might not have gotten it that well in depth, and they might not have, there's two sides of training. One, you got to attend it and actually do it, and the other one is the training's got to be worthwhile. It can't just be a bunch of motivational stories, because that runs out when someone says an objection to you. You can't be so motivated. Motivation doesn't get you past an objection, all right? It gets you past that prospect who doesn't join. All right, so you got to go find another one. All right, so this is kind of like the MLM objection handling remedy. What's their experience? How do you know of MLM, or what do you know about it? And then, really, if you can just think about what happened and then just be compassionate with the person, listen and say, gosh, I could see how you'd be upset about that, Now, do you think, I know you've been in 10 businesses. Wow, that's a lot. Do you feel like the industry works? Yeah, well, what do you think it takes to succeed? And then you got to listen, right? And you got to just get in here and get after this objection. Don't avoid it. When you're worried that they're going to ask you about MLM, you're going to get it every day. I've been in hundreds of hours of training. I have learned more in the past hour than in 5 years. Thank you. Hey, Jeff and Rona, take it to use. Like, when I tell people to get their butts to Park City, it's not because I'm hoping to make money I'm not even making $1 at that event. What I know is people need training that really works. And so when I'm on people about getting here, it's not for my own good. Right? It's not my own good. It's because I know they don't get this type of training. So I appreciate your compliment there. And, you know, that stems right from the master distributor of our company, Tim Sales. And then people like me that have learned, even mastered it on my own, and then taken his information and mastered it. I can break it down to you guys and like how I deal with this stuff, because I actually put it to use, right? I don't like talk about this stuff and then go and do something else, you know. What? So, you know, we're not doing that, okay? Okay, all right. So I hope you guys really learn this. Stop worrying about them asking you if it's MLM, because if you get it every day, it's because the way you're coming across, okay? And I don't get it every day. What do they think MLM doesn't work? When you say it doesn't work, what part are you referring to? This is so key. MLMs don't work. Anybody ever ask you this one? Oh, they don't ask you, they just say it. It's not really an ask. It's a statement, right? That's more like a statement of that doesn't work. Okay? All right. And I just repeat this back, and I say, well, okay, all right, Barb, when you say it doesn't work, what part are you referring to? Oh. And then what do? You be quiet, and you listen to what they say, and you confirm you understand. And then you can just dissect their stuff down to, oh, okay, we're just really talking about they don't know how to get a lead. Okay, good, no problem. And so you start to do this. It's like a game. I mean, it's just fun. I mean, it's ridiculous. So if you don't say stuff like this, then you get smoked, all right? And then you get mad and you throw it down and say it doesn't work. And you're in the next thing. Next thing you're selling coffee or something. Who knows? What the heck are we talking about? All right, so when you say it doesn't work, what part are you referring to? Or you try to avoid all communication and you join some internet thing where they say you don't talk to anybody, right? And no one even, you know, and there's like, and then you look at the person promoting those and they've been in 50 different things in the last 3 years, okay? When you say it doesn't work, what part are you referring to? Please say that. You guys like that one? Is it good? No? Not good? I don't know if it's good. I think it's good. It's great. All right. Okay. The odds of making big money are low. Light bulbs just went off. Man, I'm telling you. Like, if you learn nothing else, this one here, if you learn nothing else, this one will save your butt 1,000,000 times. This was a missing key in my response. Light bulb just turned on for Jeff. All right, Jeff and Rona. Wow, the light bulb just turned on. That was a missing in my responses. Of course. All right, well, here we go. I'm afraid of the answer, so I didn't ask the question. Oh, well, that's how you get below the surface, right? You got to get in there and you got to get this answer, because they don't even know why it doesn't work. They don't even know what to say. Okay, that's why I'm telling you to ask this. When you say it doesn't work, what part are you referring to? I mean, it doesn't work. I mean, are you kidding? There's billion-dollar companies. Just think about it. There's $10 billion, $8 billion, $1.3 billion, $500 million, $600 million a year companies. Okay, obviously something's working, all right? All right? Okay? I'm the best. I don't know about that stuff, all right? Wendy, you need to get off your little high horse. I'm just telling you, you're not going to like what I'm going to tell you, but you're getting real skeptical right now. You're saying something like ideal responses for a perfect conversation. What do you say to those who don't ask these perfect questions and responses? Well, this is a simple question. Some people say, those things don't work. This is a common question, and I would just say to them, when you say these things don't work, what do you mean that they don't work? What doesn't work? What part specifically doesn't work? Anybody can answer that. That's not ideal. That's not teeing it up in like the perfect little scenario. So don't be so, come on now, work with me. No one's ever asked me this? Well, then talk to more people. because there's people out there that say, yeah, those things don't work. I've heard it, and I don't hear it now very much. But just be ready, because when someone says to me, I don't get these responses, well, just go one generation down in your matching bonus and ask the people there, or 2 generations, and they're going to tell you they get this. Okay? Boom. All right. So don't think about, I don't. That's like me saying to you, I don't get the MLM objection, and just saying, you guys, you're dumb. You should never get that. You're not going to get that. I don't get it. So why, are you kidding me? Of course, you're going to get it. All right? That's like saying to someone who sells, Rolls Royces, no one's going to ever ask you and have a question about the price or an objection that it costs too much. I mean, give me a break. Of course they're going to have probably one of the biggest objections for a Rolls Royce, right? So, yeah, if you're talking to people, yeah, cookie, good. And it's good. Very common objection for people. But just realize, if you don't get the objection, people do. All right? So you want to know how to train them. That's all. Thanks for being a good sport, Wendy. All right. All right, good. What's your address? I'm moving next door. Man, there's a moose that lives next door to me. All right, so, okay. You don't want to move next door to me, I'll probably move somewhere else. I mean, not because of you, it's the way of my track record. You don't want to move next to me. All right, so, okay, the odds of making big money are low. Like those things, the odds of, I'll follow you. All right, the odds of making big money are low. Okay, statement is irrelevant. Right? Anyone ever said, yeah, the odds of that working, or you don't get this one very much, but sometimes people will say stuff like that. The odds of that happening are low. Like the odds of your success in network marketing are real low. You guys ever hear that one? Something like this? No? Yeah, that is good, Miami. So key. You have to train on these things because people get them. Okay, they get these objections. Okay? All right. Okay. So here we go. All right. Okay. So someone says we're gonna bust through some of these. All right. All right. So statement is irrelevant because meaning that there are no such things as odds, right? And this light bulb's gonna go off for you here, right here. Okay. The odds of making big money are low. The statement is irrelevant, meaning that there are no such things as odds in any activity where performance can influence outcome. If you buy a lottery ticket, if I buy a lottery ticket and I have to rely on odds or luck or odds or something like that, right? Because there's no skill in buying a lottery ticket. There's no skill in, rolling the dice. You may think there's, I throw it a certain way. No, there's really not. It's the odds, okay? And what are the odds of me getting fit? Odds have nothing to do with me throwing away the potato chips and going to the gym. My performance has everything to do with it, right? So what's the odds of you being able to run 5 miles? Well, if you sit on your butt, there's no odds. That's just you not doing it, all right? The odds of, I love that. That one always hit me, like, what are the odds of me getting fit? Well, the odds have nothing to do with it. Me throwing away the potato chips and going to the gym. Just like the odds of making big money are low. Yeah, if you continue to talk ineffectively, if you don't, you do the 4 parts at the end of the business, find prospects, invite, present, and train. If you don't do those and don't master those over time and really focus on the invite first, right, finding prospects and inviting, if you don't get that down where you're doing a really good job of it, yeah, then, you're not going to make a lot of money doing it, right? This is not going to happen. Okay, so that's nothing to do with odds. Then I would confirm understanding. So you could say this to someone, say, you could say, what are the odds of me, what are the odds are low? I mean, I would just say, well, odds really don't have anything to do with, where performance can influence outcome, right? If I buy a lottery ticket, well then, yeah, the odds of me winning, there's no skill or nothing that I can do about buying. I don't know how to buy the perfect ticket, right? I mean, there's not like an odd. That's odd, okay? But what's the chance of you going and getting fit? Well, there's no odds of that, right? It's will you get off the couch and go do it? So just think about that. Firmly understand. Say, does that make sense to you? And you could even say how you confirm understanding with someone is you could say to them, does that make sense? Can you give me an example of that? Well, yeah, I mean, it's like when I was trying to learn Spanish. You know, what are the odds of me learning Spanish? Well, gosh, did I go through the courses? Yeah, exactly. So it's the same thing here. Are you going to go through the training, learn it, and put it into action? Yeah, good. All right, making money off my friends and family is wrong. Handle in two ways, okay? First, quick statement about the only business, right? So this is what you have to think about. The only business in the world is the business of making someone's life better, right? And so if you have to think with that, right? So that's what your business does. If you're helping someone lose weight and get healthier, like we've done with Chris Doyle, Lisa Cummings, all of us, right? All of us that have helped people that way, or you've been impacted, then you have a business that's good. You have a business that's helping people and making their life better, and so you can be proud of that. And so you need to handle this in two ways, all right? And say, ask them this, you know. And so this may take you. This is where you have to drill and practice. And just say, well, you know, first of all, I mean, the only business in the world is the business of making someone's life better. You know, would you agree with this, Wendy? All right, and so you can talk to the person, right? And say, would you agree with this? Okay. And if they have a product that does not make someone's life better, then that probably you probably shouldn't share with it. Like if you have a product that's horrible and you're sharing it with me, is that good? If you have a product that you don't think is very good and you're sharing it with me, is that great? Is that what you should? You know, that's kind of wrong, right? I mean, you wouldn't want to do that. So if they have one that does, then they should share it, right? If I have something that can improve your life, then I should share it with you, right? And so, you know, like Tim said, and like I've said, I'm indebted to the person who shared their business with me because, you know, it got me out of corporate America. It changed our health. It did so many different things that it got me, you know, out of that stinking thinking, right? I mean, basically, right? I just wanted to throw this by you guys right now anyways. Because sometimes, you know, someone will ask you about MLM, and this is like a 30-second way to, you can even write this out on paper, you know, like a little sketch. And you can say, how is MLM company different than a traditional company? Well, you know, here's where they're the same, right? They both have large office buildings, right? So if you can imagine, you know, like Dell. I mean, they have large, traditional companies, they have large office buildings. They both have presidents, vice presidents, middle managers and staff, like a CEO and president. And staff and, you know, people that answer the phones and that kind of stuff. All right, so they both have those, right? You've seen that, right, in the structure. Where the company spends their $50 million in advertising their products is where the difference is. Traditional will pay celebrities, athletes to say that they, you know, they use the products, and people, you know, they use that celebrity endorsement to market their products. Versus in network marketing or in MLM, ordinary people like me and you sell the product and find others to do the same thing. Okay? The only major difference between MLM companies and traditional companies is that MLM companies pay ordinary people like me and you to promote their products and services instead of paying celebrities. And who do you think is more valuable to the customer? Right? Who do you feel, you know, just, I mean, you know, these people don't even know how to turn on their cell phone, let alone teach you how to use it or something like that, right? You know, if you could tell someone how to get skinny because you did it, then absolutely, I think you can find this somewhere on firstclassmlm.com. Not tools, but firstclassmlm.com. All right? Okay, so I think you can find it there. All right, so we got to keep moving. Okay. So making money off my friends and family is wrong. Then say, when you or I get a customer, we do add value because we can explain the product to the consumer and solve any confusion they have. Does that make sense? In other words, you're telling them why it's different than, you know, a celebrity, et cetera. And so this is why making money off my friends and family, that kind of one. Then you can move into this discussion. Now, this is if you're sitting with somebody. You can just explain that and say, you know, when you and I get a customer, we add value because we can explain the product to the consumer and solve any confusion they have, okay? Remember, when a company hires celebrities to do a commercial, what value do they add? So that kind of, that went in reverse with the loading of the page. So just remember, when a company hires a celebrity to do a commercial, what value do they add to the customer? And wait for their reply. Well, not really any. Yeah, and say good. And then say, when I get a customer, we do add value because we can explain the product to the consumer and solve any confusion they have. That's actually how you handle it. Sorry, it loaded the wrong way on the page. Okay? Okay, is MLM professional or ethical? You know, some people don't think that MLM is professional in some way. And this can happen when you're talking to professional people, okay, that have, you know, other other areas. What do you do if someone suggests or implies that MLM is not professional or ethical? Is MLM professional or ethical? What do you someone suggests if they imply this? Okay. Oops, sorry. Okay. Let them talk and find out specifically what they've received and from where. Like, and I would just say, all right, where did you run across that? Where did you come up with this? Like, where did you feel that it was unprofessional? I had a guy say, well, I saw someone putting out signs in their car that said, earn $10,000 a month, and the guy was driving a crappy old, 1982 Honda. And I just laughed at him and thought it was a joke. And so, okay. And so you could see and then that guy right there framed in his mind that all MLM is lame and done by a bunch of people that don't make any money. And so he framed that in his mind, right? So let them talk and find out specifically what they've received and from where. And then so you can just say this to the person. So this is what you'll say. All right, okay. Well, forget about MLM for a second. Forget about network marketing for a second, Mike. Can you tell me what constitutes a good or ethical or professional business? Like, depending on what they said. Like, if they said, ethical business. What constitutes an ethical business? All right? And then let them tell you. Okay? Say, see what they come up with. Most people can't really name it, and don't make fun of them if they can't, right? But most people are like, I don't know. It just seems professional. It seems like people are, whatever. And so you'll see what they come up with. And so you just ask them, what is business? And for us, making someone's life better. Wearing nice suits and going to a nice building, does that mean it's legal and, profitable? I mean, does that mean it's like a good business just because it's legal? Just because the company's profitable, like in a traditional business or something, does that mean that it's ethical or good? I mean, think about it. Tobacco companies, have they been doing great things for the world? I don't know. You make me the judge. Nuclear weapons, companies that make nuclear weapons, is that a good thing? You could say for our defense, but really, is it great? Is that a great idea? That you're building bombs for people? Is that great? Wall Street, people like the president of the NASDAQ, or whatever he was, his official title, you would have said, well, he's a professional person. He's real professional. Well, bottom line is this. A good business makes people's lives better. A bad business hurts people. So that's the way we look at it. So you ask, do you feel MLM harms people? And if so, in what way? And then listen. Right? I really hope you guys get this. You got to practice this stuff. Come back and get the recording. Okay? Try to establish some sort of standard to what is ethical or unethical or unprofessional. MLM is an industry or a profession that simply moves a product to a consumer, which is neither professional or unprofessional. It's the activity of you, me, and our company that make it professional or unprofessional. It's up to us to do that. Okay? And so, do most people fail in MLM? The honest answer is yes. Most people fail in MLM. But this is also true for any business, any sport, or any profession. Most people failing is human error, not an industry error. I really want you to get that. Okay? Anything where you try and you try to accomplish something, but here's how you handle this. When they say, oh gosh, most people fail in that. 97% of people fail. I would never want to do one of those. And so, someone said, do most people fail? The honest answer is yes. But you can say this. Okay, well, yeah, but I would say yes, they do. But in any business, any sport, or any profession, most people fail due to human error, not industry error, right? And so I would say to somebody, well, let me ask you, Rick, can you name me an industry where most people succeed? I really hope this was one of those light bulb ones for me, right? This was one of those light bulbs. Okay, let me just stop real quick. Someone's asking me, what if they, Margaret's asking me, what if they say they always get people hyped up about making lots of money and they end up spending a bunch of money that they can't afford? If you're speaking to them, just say to them, do I sound like I'm hyped up? No. Well, then obviously that doesn't need to happen, right? So it's me working with you together and showing you how this works. Do you see that? Just step back and say, do I sound hyped up? And you better not sound hyped up. All right? All right, good, Tom. Glad you like it. It is being recorded. Yeah. Good. All right. That's great training. Thank you so much. I know you guys will have to probably go to the bathroom and everything else that's going on right now, but we just got to get We can't train to time because time doesn't matter because it's training. You know, you don't say, well, you know, time's up. Okay, you guys don't know how to shoot your machine guns? Good, well, good. Who cares? They're coming. Get out there and fire them away. And if they don't work, well, whatever. I guess we'll all, you know, we won't make it. All right, keep going. Thanks, Wendy. Didn't mean to beat you up earlier, but come on. Tough love. All right, so do this one, though. This one smoked me right here, right? Because people say, you know, 97% of people fail. And people love to write that out there on the internet, too. And you know what? Most people fail. And really, it's not fail. Most people just quit. It's not fail. They just quit. They stop too soon. And it's just like any business, any sport, or any profession. Most people fail in human error, not industry error. But I want you to have this in your quiver, or whatever you want to say, of like what you can talk about, all right? And you can just say, because I'm telling you right now, if you can talk like this, you will be the most professional network marketer ever, all right? You will. Can you name me an industry where most people succeed? And be quiet, okay? If there is such an industry, can you guys name one where most people succeed? All right, Jeff. Oh, good. Good, it is. Doctors. You're telling me that most doctors succeed? Most doctors can't even get out of medical school, or they can't even get into medical school. When they are a doctor, most of them don't make as much money as you think they do on TV. So I guarantee you, and their life is not glamorous ER crap where, you know, you're watching this ER show and you've got like 5 girlfriends and all these things. That doesn't happen. Their lives are miserable. Talk to a doctor. My gosh. Oh, man. Most people succeed at being a doctor. Most people can't even get into medical school. What do you call you? Doctors kill people. Well, they help people too. Don't beat up all doctors. Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable, right? Government. Yeah, where most people succeed in the government. Yeah, ask them how that's going right now when they just cut off all that money and those people are getting smoked. Okay, so yes, government's a good one. I'm with you on that one. All right, government. Let's hook that one up. Okay, if you can name me an industry where most people succeed, okay, let's do it. So just so someone says, yeah, most people fail at this. You say, you know what? Yeah, you're right. A lot of people do fail, but in any business. But it's true for any business, any sport. You know, someone trying out as an actor or any profession that requires, you to perform. Yeah, most people are not going to make it, and most people failing is human error, not an industry error. But Mike, let me ask you something. Can you name me an industry where most people succeed? Okay. And if there is such an industry, point out the fact that the rewards are very small, and explain that most people fail in everything they do. So point out the fact that the rewards are very small. Oh, Steve, you know, I've got a great job for you at the government. Really? I don't think I want to work there. Okay, I don't want to make $37,000 a year. Okay, all right. Okay, minimum wage. You know, Walmart. Okay, yeah, most people can succeed at Walmart, but what's the pay like? Okay, just think about that. Morgan. All right. Yeah. All right. Okay, good. I'm going to throw some and turn it up. Okay, good. So just think about this. Can you name me an industry where most people succeed? If there's such an industry, point out to the fact that the rewards are very small. Then explain that most people fail in everything they do. And can you see that, right? Are the people at the top making all the money? Yeah, I know you are. Come on. All right. People assume that the person at the top has some sort of advantage. Simply ask, what business pays the people at the bottom the most money? Just ask them that. People at the top make all the money. Can you tell me a business that pays people at the bottom the most money? After they can't name one, point out this: that the average salaries of CEOs, like I think this was 2006, $10 million a year. The average worker was $29,000 a year. The CEO made more every day than the average worker made all year, okay? And clearly people at the top of every industry make the most money. Who makes the most money at Home Depot? Well, people who created Home Depot. Who's the one who makes the most money at Dell? Michael Dell. Who's the one that made the most money at Microsoft? The people that were around Bill Gates and his family. And rightly so. I mean, they created that company. And so But however, there's a big difference here, okay? In MLM, it's based on what you build. Build nothing and you make nothing. Do a little, then get a little. Do a lot and they will get a lot, okay? That's the key, right? It's huge. And I actually experienced it myself. I joined a company after it was 10 years old. There was over a couple 100,000 people. I made it into the top 40 in the company. I didn't get in, I didn't, I made it to the top. And actually, I don't know if you know this, but, like Tim Sales, he's doing well. He's, we're training, we're doing different things. He's the number one person he's the first person in the business. And he's not even the top income earner in all of RX. Okay? He's not far away from it, but he's not the top. So the person at the top doesn't necessarily make all the money. You could be at the top of an organization, but and you could have a lot of people in your organization, but if it's not, balanced out right, if you're not putting any effort into it, you're not going to make a bunch of money. You're not going to do enough. It's what you do with it. I really hope you get this. Okay. I don't know if working at Walmart is being successful. It's better than, complaining that you don't have any work. But anyway, if I had to go work at Walmart, I would. You know what? I would go work there, but I'd be busting my tail on network marketing to get out of there. That's what I would be doing. Okay. So what if they say no immediately? So like if I say no, I'm just not interested. Okay. Hey, forget recruiting them. Get to know them or know them better. Right. So if you already know them, get to know them better. You already found out what they don't want. Now find out what they want. Say, this is to be you, and this is how you get better at this stuff. Say, so what's important to you? I don't want anything to do with that. I just told you no. Come on. You just say, hey, I get it. I didn't ask about that. Like, what's important to you? I mean, you have kids. Like, what do you do? And what do you like doing? Cool. Oh, you like playing golf? You know what? My friend is, owns. He's actually the golf pro over here. Don't make it up if it's not true, but just say, oh, no way. You like doing that? Oh, all right. I've got a friend that does X, Y, Z. Would you want to go over there and, sometime play, would you like to go play golf over there? So find out, slow down, and when you're talking to them, don't ever mention your business while you're over there. Don't say a darn thing about it. It will be sucky for you because you'll want to. And don't go over there. I just came out of this training. I'm so excited. Right? They already told you no. Don't do that. All right? Go and meet with the person and go do something fun and say, man, it's awesome hanging out with you. Hey, take care. Boom. And I guarantee you they might ask you some questions later, and then the next time you meet them. So sometimes a greeting takes a little while. All right? All right? So don't go crazy. All right? I hope you guys get that. All right? Can you guys see this one? I hope so. So get to know them, make a connection. Do not immediately bring up your business again. Please, pretty please don't do that. Don't be that person. Because then you become the person that no one wants to, oh, yeah, you invited me to golf just to pitch me on your stuff again. Oh, gosh, this is a lot of fun. Now you got me stuck on the golf course. Let me go over here and throw up and say I'm sick so I can leave, right? So don't do that, right? I'm just thinking like the prospect. All right, so I didn't ask about that. What's important to you? Okay, what do you like doing? All right, cool, let's go play golf or whatever. Or, hey, cool. Go, check out that movie or whatever it is. Get to know them, make a connection. Do not immediately bring up your business again. Please don't do that. Okay. I'm not a salesperson. All right, first task, get them to see what sales simply is, communication. Second, realize that communication is a learned skill. No one is born with it. And third, you will teach them to communicate better or lead them to training that will teach them how to communicate better. I would just say, what do you, when you say a salesperson, what do you think of? Oh, and if someone says like, oh, scammy or whatever, I say, do you feel like I'm doing that? No? Okay, we're good. You don't have to. So start by asking them, what's wrong with sales or, what's wrong with, what don't you like about salespeople? Get them talking about it. Maybe not the exact reason, but it's a start. Look for spots where you can discuss, that sales is simply communication. Hey, like, when you're talking to your kids, you want them to do their homework, you're going to ask them about doing their, they're going to give them reasons why they should, right? And so realize that communication is a learned skill, okay? And you will teach them to communicate better, right? And realize that communication is a learned skill. They say, well, I guess some people are good at it and some people aren't. Don't say stuff like that. Well, then just, if you guys could learn this stuff right here, you're going to kill it. And it's not about having to kill it thing. I'm just saying that you'll have more success and you'll be able to help people pass their garbage and get them into your team so they can start getting their goals. Okay. Okay. So if they say, well, some people are good at like talking to people and others aren't, or something like that, and you say, well, some people are just natural. I'm not. I'm shy. Say, well, let me ask you, what's the typical age when a child starts talking? Or if communication was a born skill, why would children need to learn their ABC? Okay. All right. Why would they? Please back up the slide. Which one? I don't know which one. That is huge, Tim. I don't know which one it was. I got to move through these things. All right, Jeff. Okay. Yeah. Well, there's a bunch of huge tips. All right. Good. Okay. All right. So this is all right. So let them come to a maybe I can learn. Maybe I can learn something there. Communication was a born skill. Why would children need to learn their ABCs, right? And they'll start talking. Don't talk to them. They're going to start selling here in about, start talking in 18 months or whatever, a year or whatever. They're going to start selling. Well, okay, but do not convince them they can be a salesperson. You can only facilitate it, and that's how you can facilitate this one. You can't say, oh, you'll learn it, you'll become a salesperson. You're not helping them, okay? You can say, well, what's the typical age when a child starts talking? Well, what do they start? They don't start selling. I mean, communication. I love this one. If communication was a born skill, why would children need to learn their ABCs? Yeah. So obviously, you can learn it, right? And so, as you go through our training, we'll help you. I don't have any money. That's the next one. Okay. I don't have the money. Nobody my age has any money. Intercession, depression, very common. People say they don't have the money. 3 possibilities. They actually don't have the money for real, or are not in. There's none in the budget. Okay. So they give you these excuses. Unexpressed objection, an excuse for you. They say they don't have the money, but really they think it's a big pyramid, or they, they have an issue, or something you said causes them to have an objection. Maybe not something you said, but they have another excuse. So it's an excuse for you. I don't have the money. I'm giving you an excuse, but I just really don't see how I can build this. Right? So frame of mind. Excuse for them. I just don't see how I can find the money for this. It's like an excuse for them. They're giving themselves an excuse. So you have to start to identify these, ask questions, determine which. Okay? Because then you gain additional information. You can say this. Has money, Now, let me tell you something about this one. If you guys screw up the communication qualities on this, it's going to go ugly. Like if you're not in good communication with me, you don't have a good grading and qualifying going on with me, and you're not sincerely, interested in me, right? You're not interested. You're distracted by your environment. You're looking at your cell phone while you're talking to me. You're going to blow this so bad, and it's not going to go well. All right. So suppose I don't have the money, and say, Mike, has money been an issue for a while? But you got to say it sincerely. You can't just be like, has money always been an issue for you, you dummy? You can't come across like that, right? So has money been an issue for a while? Boom. You say, well, when do you see this changing? And be quiet and let them tell you, okay? Do you have a plan to get out of this situation? Again, you have the intention to make your life better, you can say these things, all right? Are you interested in solving this, or have you just decided to live with it? That's my favorite one. I really don't have the money. I understand that you feel you don't have the money, but, are you interested in solving this, or have you just decided to live with it? Well, all right, well, how are we going to – so are you going to get started? Yes. All right. How are we going to find – now, which way do you want to get started? Well, I can do the $299. I want to do the $299. How much money do you have now? Like $200. All right, so how are we going to get the other $99? Well, I have another credit card I can put it on. Okay, good. Guys, sometimes you got to piece this thing together to get people going on a path that can get them their goals. And so some of the best people didn't have a lot of money. I didn't have a lot of money when I started. I had like $50 this part. But I saw it, and then I got the package once I believed it. I actually did have the money, but I gave them an excuse because I didn't think I could do it or whatever. Okay? But someone followed up with me enough that I did it, and then I blew it out of the water. But I didn't know I was going to do that. Well, so, boom. Amazing. Tell Tim Sales, all right? I didn't make these up. He did. Just Jeff and Rona, there's like, You just changed my life. I don't know if I did that, but, you know, Tim Sales did for sure, and me facilitating it with you. Hopefully this works to you guys, because if you can learn these, and you can get these down, I just want you to have success. I read through a bunch of books yesterday about objection handling on network marketing, and everyone that wrote them had some good ideas, but all of it was missing because they're like, objection neutralized. I'm like, what is this? Like some kind of video game? It's the stupidest answers you guys ever gave. They had some good points, but people don't know how to train this stuff. All right? So what you have to do, when it says drill till you get really good at this, I don't have the money. Are you interested in solving this, or have you decided to live with it? Well, I sound like a robot, right? I have communication quality number 5. I sound rehearsed. I sound like I'm reading a script, right? So I'm not communicating easily. So, okay, I got to practice it again. Are you interested in solving this, or have you just decided to live with it? Oh, that's much better. I'm actually at the right assertiveness for this person. Okay, I got to keep practicing that. Are you interested in solving this, or have you just decided to live with it? And then where am I going to go next with that? And then say, okay, and then the next step is, all right, would you like to get started? No, I don't have the money. So, but if you had the money, would you start now? Okay, so how are we going to get the money? Okay, so I hope this helps. Okay, if none of these questions seem to hit, you need to ask this question, okay? You need to ask this question right now, and you need to have this one down, because if you don't have this question down, you're gonna blow it, okay? So if none of these questions have hit the mark, right, then you would just say, and you don't need to ask all these in a row. That's not even an issue. You see, you could put them together, but you got to do it right, right? You got to do it in the right way. Don't sound like you're reading bullet points, okay? If none of these questions seem to hit, in other words, you're just not, it's not, I think a lot of you guys don't tell people what you really want to tell them, and that's the problem with a lot of it. You don't just say, you know what, is there anything I've discussed that doesn't sit right? You know what, I've shown you this information, you looked at the products, you looked at the business. Is there anything I've discussed that just doesn't sit right with you? Like you're like, I just don't, something's wrong with it or whatever. Is there anything that doesn't sit right with you? Please ask that question. You guys are going to quantum growth your business by asking these types of questions. Okay? Please do it. All right. And, so this is good. Now, if you have access to, what the wealthy buy, then if nobody at my age has any money, then there's 3 possibilities. They don't have the money for real or on a budget. Invite them to watch What the Wealthy Buy in Payday. We have this in the RX income system. You can get that video. And if you have What the Wealthy Buy Explains, or like a Rich Dad Poor Dad type of thing, where this is a 10-minute video that wakes people up. All right? Okay? And the 3 possibilities: unexpressed objection, which means excuse for you. Find an underlying objection and handle it. So you say, so that's where, is there something, that's where this one is the underlying question, right? Is there anything I've discussed that doesn't sit right with you, right? So when you ask that, then you're getting that unexpressed objection out of there, okay? Frame of mind. Then have them watch Wealthy Buy, and when they decide that this is, they just, I just don't see how I ever got them, all right? So if they said, yes, I watched the video, good. What did you like best about it? What did you learn? What was your favorite part? What made the most sense to you? You see a possibility of getting your kids out of daycare. And merge the RX brands, the trends discussed in the movie. Yeah, they talked about, health and, wellness. Do you see that as a huge trend? Yes. All right, with the Slenderized brand, we're focusing on weight loss. Do you see weight loss as a big, weight, obesity, weight problems as a big issue? Yeah. All right, well, that's where we're working. That's where we work with Slenderized. So, okay. Information again in the qualify step. Okay, this is a little extra training. Can my business help them get what they want? In other words, they want to make $1 million a year. I'm listening to them. I want to make $1 million in the next week. Well, my business can't do that. Okay. Can I help this prospect get what they want? All right. Can I help this prospect get what they want? Sorry. And do I want to help this person? Some people you just don't want to work with. What can you say? Something about it just rubs you wrong. You don't want to work with them. Well, and does the prospect want to be helped? Right? Do they? In other words, can I help the prospect get what they want? In other words, are they really? Is what they're looking for? They want to. They want to lose weight. Okay, then I have something that can help them. Right? that kind of stuff. Do I want to help this person? Some people rub you wrong, right? Whatever, you're just not getting along with them, or you're not sure. I've had people, I just don't think it's going to work, and they don't know what to say. I'm just like, I'm out of there, because I'd rather not work with that person. They're not qualified at the moment, and they're going to wear me out like you can't even believe, right? And does the prospect want to be helped? This is the one where when you're answering objections, some people just don't want to be helped. No matter what you tell them, they don't want to be helped, okay? And so, they've made their mind up, and there's nothing you can do about it, and they're just negative no matter what you say. You say, you know what, I'll never mention this to you again, or, there's just some people that don't want to be helped, okay? And you just have to deal with that. Okay. All right. Looking for a secure or steady paycheck. Basis is that they are afraid of working for a straight commission, rather get paid for being at work than production. Really it is, I can't do it. That's what this is when they don't feel they can do it. And so when you look at this, all right, can I succeed at it? Have parts of this discussion with your prospect, whether they state this as an objection or not. So people don't always say, they're not going to say, well, I don't feel I can do it. They're never going to, people don't say that normally. They feel that they can't succeed at it. Normally, people don't talk about that. They don't say that stuff. Rarely found a person, by the way, who has had 100% confidence. Watch out for the arrogant, I'm going to make you all this money type people. Those people have never made, if you don't ever say that to somebody like, oh, I'm going to make you so much money. Don't ever say that to someone, because the people that say that never do. And all they do is cost me time, and they do nothing, all right? This is the objection behind most all objections is, can I really succeed at it? Can I do it? That's where all the objections come from. If the person thought they could do it, they wouldn't have questions and objections. They would just do it. I mean, they would still have some questions, but the reason people don't get started with you is not because they think it's a pyramid. It's because they don't feel they can succeed at it. I hope you really understand that. All those other ones are just masks, really, and those are some things they heard, but they don't feel they can succeed at it. So they hear how much money can be made and withdraw because they think, I can't make that kind of money. Are you kidding me? I'm only used to making $50 grand a year. I can't make that kind of money. Key is they are looking at the whole picture instead of each component. Focus on the first component and ask them this, okay? When you're looking at the business, you can overwhelm people at the whole thing. And so they say, I just can't do this. I don't know how to answer. I don't know how to do all this stuff you're doing. So can you do that? Most of the time they say yes. Take the largest and break it down into doable parts. I'll show you how to do that, okay? This is the way to start. Okay, the way to start this is to talk to your prospect about things they have succeeded at in the past, even if you have to go way back, like way back. I haven't succeeded in a while, all right? So that's what you have to do, right? You have to focus, break it down into components. So have to be speaking at the prospect's level of understanding with them, okay? And if they've been very successful, praise them for what they've done and ask them something like, man, obviously you've been really successful as a real estate agent, so how did you become so successful at real estate, right? Whatever they were successful at. How did you become so successful as a lawyer, right? Don't need to do baby steps with really successful people that you're talking to. Just facilitate them looking in the past to figure out how they learned to do what they became successful at. FYI, people's success formulas are pretty much all the same. They just kept doing it until they figured it out. Could have a coach, mentor, or done it wrong every possible way until they succeeded. Think about what you've done to be successful. You had your ups and downs. You didn't quit when it went wrong. You just figured it out and you got through it, and you kept doing it, all right? Basically all the same. They just did it, all right? They just did it. And can I succeed at it? Get this person talking about it. If they name something and say, oh, I was just a natural from day one, ask them, really? Oh, wow, what made you a natural at it? Sometimes this will give you a great example. If not, ask additional questions to find something else. But that's someone says, I was just a natural at it. It was so easy for me to do. God, what made you a natural? I really liked working with people, and, I was trained by these people, which starts to show you they weren't natural, right? But you're just listening to them, okay? And so you want them to see that the things they have accomplished started out as being difficult. They ended up finding a way to do it. Once they have told you about this thing they accomplished, praise them and say, and don't just say, oh, okay, say, gosh, that's so great that you're able to accomplish that. And don't just say, oh, okay, and bypass it. That's a major mistake. I see people, I was, so this is a key. Someone says, I just did well as a coach. I was coaching this football team, and, it's like I loved the game. I loved everything about it, and I just, it was just like a natural fit for me. I just felt natural. and they say, well, what made it natural for you? I loved playing football, and so coaching was just felt so good, and I could actually help the people because I knew what I was talking about because I'd actually done it. Yeah, okay, good. And say, you know what, man, great job on all you've accomplished as a coach. It's so great that you were able to help those kids. Okay, so don't just say, oh, okay, and bypass it, right? And then you say, so if someone is saying something like, gosh, I don't know if I can do this, and say, what part of the business seems difficult to you? Is it getting customers or business associates? If someone feels they aren't successful, ask them this. You can say, what part of the business seems difficult to you? Is it getting customers or business associates? It doesn't matter what they reply. You say, don't look at the whole business right now. All right, finding people that be interested in the customers. Yeah, don't look at the whole how to get customers right now. I want you to only look as far as you training with me. All right. Do you think that you can learn how to be interested in another person instead of trying to impress them? Think you can learn that with me training you how to do that? Yeah, I think so. Okay, good. Well, that's all you need to be asking yourself right now because I'm going to train you. We'll take each step just like that until you can do it all, right? So again, remember, you're breaking the big components of all the business, find prospects, invite, present, and train. All that whole business can be overwhelming to a new person. Inside the big components are several training steps, like take inviting. There's the 10 communication qualities, which what I was just talking about on the previous slide was be interested in somebody. That's communication quality number 1. Can your new representative do the first communication quality? Be interested in their prospect. If not, start there. If they can, move to the next one until they can do each one. Just take the boss and take it out of the back office and put it into your mouth and use it and actually work. So then you move to the inviting formula. When they can greet and they can qualify and they can invite and they can handle these questions, objections, they can close to action, they can follow up and follow through, then you've handled one of the biggest components of the business, which is inviting. Okay? And as you're training them, you're probably doing some presentations and they're learning that. And as you're training with them, they're learning how to train somebody as well. And so are you. And so they can even start earning money during this first part of the business. So you break down, do you think you could be interested in someone? Like if someone said, that they would like to lose weight, do you think you can learn how to be interested in that person and, help them? Yeah, I could do that. Good. That's what we're going to do, and then we're going to work on the next step. So this is exciting. We're going to break the big parts down into smaller and make it so you can do it. So how would you like to get started? Which way? Okay, great. The Elite Pack? Good. Where would you like your paycheck sent to? And you write down your address. Okay, good. Where are your products and your paycheck sent? Okay, that's a good address. Boom. What is your, for tax purposes, what is your Social Security number or tax ID? Okay, great. Boom. All right, and how do you want to pay for it? Okay, good. Boom. All right, I'll set this up in the system, and we'll immediately start on this training right now. Okay, just have that conversation I just did 10 times this next week, please, and you'll see what happens. Then train the next component. Some people will move faster than others. Regardless of whether you are training yourself or training another, I always advise you training somebody else with you as you're doing it. All components must be known for you to replace yourself in the business. If you don't want to be pulling your hair out in 10 years because you're still in your little MLM business going crazy because, and I don't mean little, I mean it could be huge, but it could be a huge business that's taking all of your time and sapping all of your energy, and you're like, wow, I'm making a lot of money, but I don't have any time because you didn't stop and train people on all these components. When you can train people on all these components, you basically replace yourself in the business, and you can actually eventually retire if you want to, all right? And you need to have multiple people replacing you in the business on multiple, on your line. So it's not just one person and you're hoping that they're making it. How do you know when they are known? When you or your representative can do it to the prospect's satisfaction. The only measurement of pass or fail is, on the other side, is whether the person enrolls in the business or buys the product. That's how you know you pass or fail, basically. And so if you're failing, you work on what you didn't do right and you get better at it. Okay. On the other side of learning this process. Now this will take some time. This has been taking us a while on this training. But the other side of this learning process is total financial and time freedom. As long as you're willing to train until you get it right, you can't fail. All right? You won't fail if you train until you can't get it wrong. All right? You can't get it wrong. Can't get it. Let me say that again. As long as you're willing to train until you get it right, you can't fail. All right? So let's get below the surface real quick. If someone was to say to you, and you're talking, so this kind of ends the objection. I know there's some more out there, but just think about it. You can get below all of these things by following that remedy. Now, get below the surface real quick. Let's say that someone is talking to you, and they say that they had a terrible day at work. What would you guys say to this? What would you say to this? Let me get over here and get on this panel here. I'm feeling extremely hopeful. Well, you should be. This is multi-million-dollar training. You bet it is. What happened at work? Beautiful. You guys already happened. You guys are already doing it. Love it. 10 years in MLM, and I've never heard a bunch of this info. Well, you know, you have now. So take it and use it. Thanks. The presentations right now are going to be done depending on what you're showing someone. I would show someone Slenderize on slenderize.com. If they're just a straight customer, send them to your personal site for that product to watch. And then follow up with them if they didn't buy it or whatever, and say, you know, follow up, have them watch it, and then say, how would you like to get started? Okay. For Slenderize. For Purity, I would do the same thing with the website. For overall presentations, we have them online. Like if you go to YouTube and look up Steve Swartz, you'll find I have YouTube videos of presentations done by Tim Sales. There's YRX. That's what we're showing right now. We don't have a flashy video that overall shows the whole opportunity or shows Slenderize as an opportunity. We will work on that. We're working on that now, but we don't have that. So I would invite people to YRX, you know, brilliant compensation if they know nothing about MLM and they're not sure about business and that kind of stuff. Then I would send them to YRX, and then I would send them a presentation. I'd probably send them a webinar that's recorded, and I've done on YouTube one of those, okay? And it covers the whole business, and then follow up and say, you know, what do you like best about that? That's what you got to do right now, right? Okay? Okay, let's get through these because we're going to. PowerPoints, there are some, but you know, we can work on getting those out to you. Okay. So if someone said I had a terrible day at work, what would you say? What would you say to the person right now? Some of you guys answered this. Real quick, give me some answers. Okay, not just what happened, but what happened at work. Oh, what was so terrible about work? So use their words to ask them questions. That's the key to getting below the surface. Use their words to ask them questions. Statement, my work is getting stressful. Oh, why is it getting stressful, right? I love my job. Great, what do you love about it? Boom, and then listen, and they say, you know, it's going great, but, I love it, and then they may say something, all right? Okay, the economy is really bad right now. Oh, how's I understand, like, how's the economy, affecting you, right? Why do you say it's really bad? Okay, that's not mirroring. You're getting below the surface mirroring. Give me a break. All right. Okay? Use their words to get below the surface. You want to call it mirroring? Good. But that's your labeling stuff. I don't like it. I never see my kids. I never see my family. All right. How come you never see your family? Well, I'm always at work or whatever, okay? I'm concerned about layoffs. Oh, wow. What has you concerned about it? Like, what have you heard about layoffs? Or what has you concerned about layoffs? Okay? I tried MLM before. Oh, really? What happened when you tried MLM before? Like, use their words. I'm not a salesperson. Why do you say you're not a salesperson? Is this MLM? It is. What do you know about MLM, right? Is this one of those pyramids? No, it's not, but what do you mean by one of those pyramids? Okay? Is this one of those things? What do you mean one of those things? Just like Amway. What do you mean like Amway? All right? So I just want you to get below the surface here. And that's so key, and especially in the qualify or someone's talking to you. I paid a lot of money for this stuff in the past, over $7,000 when I first met Tim Sales and brought him into my team and trained. We had this big event, and it was well worth it. I mean, and I was excited. It was exciting. And I bought a lot of CDs, flew across the country to events, but in the boss, you get all of this access 24 hours a day. So you should really wear that thing out, all right? You have world-class training that's less than going to a little cheesy restaurant, okay? And so for $29.95, you get the boss and Tim Sales helping you master financial freedom. Remember these steps to the inviting formula? Absolutely. It's so key as, the objections come up knowing this information. So I appreciate everybody coming out. I'm going to hold on for a second, but You guys, thanks so much for all your feedback. You've been warriors out there, and we appreciate it. So in the next week, what's happening here is we're doing this training, right? And this is live in Park City, and you may not be able to attend, whatever, but, you know, this is a train-the-trainer event. And we're going to have, we're going to be doing these drills in person. So you have to actually talk and say them, advertise and sell SlenderX, how to build a team, how to lose the weight. We're going to do a clinical trial overview on Friday night with medical professionals. So you'll be able to see how we do that, and then you can start implementing that where you live. So if you want to get going on this, it's never too late. SlenderizeTraining.com. Register. We're doing a VIP dinner. And look at the hotel. I mean, this place is bad to the bone. It's right next to Starbucks, right next to all the places right downtown. It's got a beautiful pool. That's the meeting room. The rooms have their own jacuzzis on the deck. It's a beautiful place at the New Park Resort and Hotel. People love going here. It's right on top of some restaurants. We're doing a VIP dinner later that evening, Saturday night. And we have the industry trainer, top industry trainer and RX Master Distributor, Tim Sales. This is a train-the-trainer event. It's only like 100 people, 120 people. We can add more, but that's what we have right now. And this is practicing live training in Park City, Utah. You know, doing drills. This is us like training in Tim's home, but this is us live drill training. You know, so you're not going to leave until you can do what's spoke about in this training. Does this look like on the left up there? Do we look like we're up there parading around telling you can do it? I mean, we're practicing drills, and you learn how to train your team, and that's so important to gain your confidence. And the leaders will be in Park City. This is going all out of order, sorry, and this is who's going to come here. The top 3 U.S. income earners, top 4 sponsors, top retailer, Tim Sales, Lynell Johnson, Deanna Watson, Werner Berger, guy climbed Mount Everest. Who do you know has done that? And Facebook guru Stefan Page is going to be teaching you how to use Facebook and do marketing on Facebook, plus CEO Fred Cooper, President Mark Wilson, and CFO Jeff Yates. So sacrifice one time for a lifetime gain. Get here if you can, even if it seems impossible. Figure a way to do it. I remember one day, it was like a Thursday, there was a training in Miami on Friday, and I was all the way in California, and I just did it. I was like, I got to get there. And I went to it, and from that meeting, man, I ended up building relationships that I still have today, and most people would say that, you know, you're crazy for doing that. So you get all these people in one spot in a very intimate environment, small group. Okay, we're not trying to pack out the room with potties, okay? That's not the idea. The idea is get you guys trained in person so you can see this and take it back to your teams and rock it, okay? So that's what we're talking about here. We look forward to having you guys there. And again, you know, welcome to RX, the Opportunity Company. We appreciate you guys coming out today. And if you're like me, you probably have to go to the bathroom now. So thanks so much for coming out, and you guys rock. So keep moving it.